Hello, muffins. Okay, we are going to have a look at the reincarnation of Madeline scene now. Hopefully the sound is going to work on this video. Sorry, the last video I did, which was intro to Madeline, watching it back, I realised that the audio wasn't working on the clip. I'm sorry. It's You can watch it back yourself. The only thing, there's no dialogue in that. It was just the sound, and the thing you'd want to say is that comes in when we see her, climaxes when she stands in front of him. Anyway, back to this scene. This is the reincarnation of Madeline scene. I have to warn you that this scene is a little bit fruity, and we have watched an interview with Hitchcock where he says that this is the scene where things get very sexy. So let's have a little look through. So as the last video, for this one we're looking for auteur motifs, but for this one there's lots to talk about for interior meaning. Let's get down to it. Here we go. So Scotty is waiting for Madeline. So at this point in the film we've had Judy. We, the audience, know that he doesn't. This scene here reminds me a little bit, if you know, you know, of a scene from Double Indemnity where our hero is hiding the femme fatale behind a doorway. Not relevant, sorry. It was very unusual for James Stewart. James Stewart was like the Tom Hanks of his day. He was this all-American good guy, and this was an extremely dark role for him. Scotty is like extremely obsessive. If you remember in the scenes leading up to this, he says things to her like, change your hair. It can't matter to you. He says he knows what will look well on you, and and she gives in to this, and it's only once she's completely given in. At this point she's agreed. She said, yes, okay, if you change me, will it do it? Oh, Judy. So she's agreed to go through this change, and she believes that is what will make him fall in love with her. But she's not quite playing ball just yet. So, that's Buster barking. So here she is, almost perfect. We can spot the difference. It's the hair. So you notice that the music has gone into a minor key here. It's full of suspense. She's not quite there yet. She's like 90% Madeline, but she has to be perfect. This is an echo of how Hitchcock treated his leading ladies. His Hitchcock blondes had to be perfect, and Scotty is doing the same thing to Judy that Hitchcock did to his leading ladies, reinventing them, turning them into this ice cold Hitchcock blonde. So the Hitchcock blonde is a Hitchcock motif, and this film plays with that idea in quite a self-aware way. So Judy here, still trying to retain some independence, some identity.
It just didn't seem to suit me.
Defiance. And do you see the mirror again? We have two Madelines in the mirror. Sorry, the dog's barking. Two Madelines in the mirror, and the camera is pushing in there to get this all-important reaction shot. And notice how we are on the side here of Scotty, and we are gazing at her, looking at her. So now she gives in, and now the music comes in. Notice how like the doorway is bathed in this green light. Green light, we know, is the colour of the uncanny. It's the colour of obsession, and this scene is positively bathed in this eerie green glow. Hitchcock says that Scotty is indulging in a form of necrophilia. He's trying to bring back a dead woman. So this green glow, this green sort of light that's coming in through the windows is a kind of ghoulish sort of like stain on this scene. Okay. So now the camera stays with Scotty, the audience stays with Scotty, and Hitchcock said in an interview that this is where he finally gets his erection. So all the way through, he's lost his mojo. He hasn't been able to perform. He hasn't been able to really commit to Judy. We know that is how Hitchcock is thinking in this scene, and see how the camera sticks with him. It tilts. So in terms of spectatorship, we are aligned. So the audience and Scotty. So the relationship here is very, very tight. So she has our back to we have our back to her. We hear the door. We and Scotty, we are both have our backs to her. So we hear the door, and the camera is gonna like the camera is gonna rush up to get this reaction shot up in his face, and that is like that movement, that push in is like the that moment of masculinity being regained. We'll say it that way. So his reaction, we haven't seen her yet. This is him. This is all about Scotty. So his reaction, his face. Look how the camera's gonna. There she is, as if she's stepping out of the San Francisco fog. She is here. She has arrived, and now that Madeline Judy has been completely broken down. Now he can have sex with her. Now he's completely dominated her, completely broken her. Now he can have sex with her. So let's see how Hitchcock deals with that scenario. And this is the walk. So in the first scene, when we first see her, she walks through the doorway towards Scotty and towards us. She does it again. Where am I? When she comes through the doorway to towards him when she's just come out of the river, and she's at his house. And now this time, this moment, this walking towards the camera, it's the same walk, it's similar look. She casts a deep shadow. So this is quite a long take of her gazing adoringly at him. So remember, Hays Code meant no scene of passion. So what we're going to get a 360-degree spin. We're going to get lots of kissing and then separating, kissing and then separating, so it's not going to be sustained. And it's a tight close-up, but the 360-degree spin, or the music as well, does its comes to the climax as well. But the spinning camera we are now entered into Scotty's consciousness. This is subjective filmmaking, just like what the German expressionists used to do, which is where Alfred Hitchcock learned his trade. So we're going into the mind, we're going subjective, and this is what he goes back to. He goes back to the barn where they had their final kiss with what he thinks is Madeline. So the kiss just sweeps him away back to this moment. Again, there's no dialogue. This is all pure cinema. Grabby one. The spiral in the hair. And now the classic, the lunge. This is where the female actress leans back and she's almost horizontal. Almost, but not quite. So it's kind of like mimicking a sexual positioning. And it's ultimate, like she is submissive now. Against the backdrop of green. So she is doing the ultimate act of submission. The background now is completely green and the music is reaching its height. You know, this is telling us that Scotty has regained his masculine power. The female is now submissive. Problem solved. Fade to black. What could be happening in that rather long fade to black? After this, so a fade to black connotes like passing of time and space. Ooh, sorry, the dog's still going. So we have the passing of time here, but we return to the same space. So we call this within the edit, something has happened. This is the poetics of the edit. Within this edit, something has gone on. It has to be a sexual encounter because Madeline is changing her clothes. So that change, that edit going out of the scene, that fade to black and then fade up from black.
Hello, my love.
Tells us that there's, something's happening in the edit, and the implication here that it is a sexual encounter. So that is our scene. I'm sure there's a few things that I've forgotten. As always, rewatch this video as many times as you can. Don't just watch these videos passively. Make sure you're watching them with pen and paper so that you can take notes and pick out the key things. Okay. I think that's us done on this scene. Stop recording and stop. Okay, bye muffins.